Victory stands before you, my friends, and I never thought that it would come so rapidly. But it is. Earlier this morning, I talked about how many institutions, companies, organizations, the Navy, removed their pride flag logos after only a few hours, after a few days, in some instances, a few hours, because of the backlash, because regular people are saying no. There's a lot of other reasons behind it. But I tell you this. With the latest news about the drop in the stock price of Bud, Anheuser-Busch, and Target, we're now learning many other companies are being hit equally. And of course, the narrative machine is trying everything in their power to lie, to claim the stock drop has nothing to do with a boycott or reputational damage. It's just a downturn in the market. Everybody's getting hit. Sure. But I bring you the receipts, my friends. They're lying. The reality is, regular people say no to your ESG garbage. They don't want it. They don't want their kids exposed to it. And as people like you and I get older, and traditional liberals say there is a red line, we're humble moderates. We're not staunch conservatives, but the left crossed the line. And because of that, these companies are now reeling. And they're doing everything they can to try and stop the bleed. But the reality here is, as Bud Light does the opposite, they may be sued for violating their fiduciary duty to their shareholders. Bud Light is doubling down, providing more money to pride groups, sponsoring pride events, even though their customers are revolting. Not that their customers are gross, but they're in revolt. Although the left may have liked that statement either way. It worked for both sides, right? Take a look at this story from CNBC. Boycotts hit stocks hard. Here's what might be next for Bud, Target, and others caught in the anti-Pride backlash. A very interesting story. Pride Month merchandise displayed at Target. You see, Pride Month. Every year, over the past few years, we've seen every company change their logos to rainbow flags, to pride flags. The pride flag is different from the rainbow flag because it's got black and brown in it, because it's a cult flag. It has nothing to do with pride. I don't even know what the point is. It's a symbol of the cult. That's really what it is. And so Target introduces products, and there's a backlash. And then people change their logos, and there's a backlash. And the reputational damage results in stock dropping off, because if people aren't going to shop at your store, if they're not going to buy your product, you're going to lose money. So why invest? The clash of capitalism and neo-Marxism. CNBC reports, even before Pride Month was underway, it seems as if it was open season on companies celebrating the LGBTQ community. One by one, companies have come under an expanding attack. Anheuser-Busch, Target, Kohl's, VF Corp's, North Face brand have all felt the vitriol of the latest push from the right, and the list keeps growing. These companies have been branded as woke capitalists, and worse. As critics urged boycotts of these companies' products, Bud Light came into the crosshairs. Dylan Mulvaney, blah, blah, blah. And we know about everything else. North Face had a drag queen ad. Target and Kohl's have been selling pride clothing for kids. Well, it's too early to say how successful these efforts will be in lowering sales. They say damage has been done to the stocks already. And some on Wall Street expect that to continue, with analysts recently downgrading Target and Anheuser-Busch's ratings, citing in part the ongoing controversy. The main reason boycotts generally are effective is because they threaten the reputation of the company by putting the company in negative media spotlight. And of course, they don't want that, said Braden King, a professor of management and organizations. But it's more than that. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If there's a boycott, you sell less. If you sell less, people, don't want to hold your stock because you're not going to make money. And if you don't make money for yourself, you're not going to make money for them, making the stock less valuable. The panic sets in, so they sell, triggering a sell-off where the price starts dropping rapidly. And then as it goes down, other people say, why is the stock going down? And they start selling, and then self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, if it keeps going, it could completely gut these companies, and their stock becomes nil, and nobody wants to hold it. And that's very bad for their ability to raise funds if they need to, and just in general for the company. But here's CNN. I love it. Here's what they say. Here's the real reason Target stock is dropping. Cue the lie, but don't worry, I brought receipts. Here's what CNN writes. Target stock has lost about a fifth of its value over the past 2.5 weeks. Yeah, a fifth. Holy crap, 20%. It's not about what you may have heard. If you follow right-wing media or Twitter, you may have seen a lot of coverage recently about Target stock falling over Pride Month clothing. It's conceivable that some investors sold Target because of the negative coverage on Fox News and other right-wing outlets, but Target stock went on a 9-day losing streak and hit a 3-year low this week because of broader changes in the U.S. economy, the possibility of a recession, and Target's overexposure to discretionary merchandise, according to corporate executives and retail and investment analysts. Oh, you had me going there for a minute. I thought that it was because Target was being hit really hard in the press and people were boycotting Target and there were confrontations with employees that resulted in fear the stock would drop, and then the stock dropped. But what they're really saying is it's just something happening in the market. It's the economy. So, of course, being a broad change in the economy, the market, and how these big box stores work, then the real reason that Target is going down is just because department store, like, big box stores are just not favorable right now. So if you are holding any stock in this space, you will lose money, is what CNN says. Well, let me just show you what. Oh, wait, what? Wait, hold on. What's this? Walmart Inc. has been on a steady climb? Well, wait. Walmart and Target are basically the same thing. Now, I know that Walmart has McDonald's in it, and that's pretty great. Sometimes Subway. And I think Target has a Starbucks and a Pizza Hut in it. I'm not sure what those partnerships are, but something like that. Hold on there a minute. Wait. I thought they were saying that because of broad economic changes, Target stock was dropping a lot. But why is Walmart going up? They're the same thing. Okay, well, maybe Target's going back up now too. And Target's down in the past 5 days, 5%, 5.76, and Walmart is up 2.47. Oh, I get it. They're lying again. Walmart is going up, Target is going down. They're effectively the same thing. I don't know. I like Target a little bit more in terms of the quality of the merchandise. Like, I go pick up some shirts. They're Hanes. They're pretty good. I mostly just order online now anyway, but I haven't bought from Target and I'm not going to, considering what's going on. I'm sure Walmart has something similar, but look, the reality is simple. Yes, there may be some stock drop. There may be some stock growth. Natural market tendencies will still happen with a boycott going on. But Target Corporation in the past 5 days is down 5%. In the past month, it's down 16.55%. And if you go back to the start of the controversy, when Target was at its peak, it was at 160. Yes, this is mid-May. And then it's been down the whole time. Now, of course, context matters. So let's take a look at Walmart over the past month. In the past month, Walmart has only dropped 1.18%. Now, around a similar time, there was a dip, but it was a dip of 1%, and they've recovered for the most part. So don't come to me and say, due to broad economic changes, the stock is going down. It's a lie. The reality is these companies have betrayed their shareholders, and you are seeing it reflected in the price. Elon Musk weighs in. He says it won't be long before shareholders sue Target. I think y'all need to be suing Bud Light right now. If you held Bud Light stock, the Dylan Mulvaney thing happens, the stock starts going down, and you say, bad hair day, we get it. But then Anheuser-Busch says, we're going to do it again and again and again. That's intentional at this point. There's no argument. If you go and say, look, we knew in the press the controversy happened. Bud Light removed. They put 2 individuals on leave. They knew this was wrong. And then what did they do? Sponsored a Pride event, donated large sums of money, and doubled down. You have right there. They are telling you they knew what they did with Mulvaney damaged the stock price. They took action against individuals because of it. And then they did it twice again. What are they going to say? Your Honor, we didn't remove them because of this. It was totally unrelated. He's going to be like, you're lying. Don't come in here and lie to me. It's obvious these individuals behind this, we see it all in the press. We know. Nothing else would make sense. And then what? No, they're in trouble, and Target is too. The Daily Wire reports Twitter owner Elon Musk took a shot at Target on Friday morning after JP Morgan downgraded their stock, saying it was only a matter of time before the company faced lawsuits for its controversial actions that have led to the company losing billions of dollars in market value. Target made emergency calls in mid-May to managers and senior directors after the company faced backlash for its Pride collection, which included tuck-friendly female swimwear. No, I'm sorry. If it's tuck-friendly, it's male. We were given 36 hours, told to take all of our Pride stuff, the entire section, and move it to a section that's a third the size. Now, this is where I think the lawsuit will not work against Target. If you're a shareholder of Target and they immediately took action and said, get this stuff out of the front, that's actually protecting the shareholders. It is. And because so many companies have played the Pride game for some time, and because Target's had these products before, you can't reasonably argue that they knew what they were doing was a violation of their duties. In fact, it would seem they were actually upholding their duties because it was popular. You sell the stuff, people buy it. The backlash they couldn't have seen coming. And they did try and take action to mitigate the damage. Now they'll argue, we fear that doing any kind of statement or retraction or apology would only make things worse. And the best thing to do is to lay low and keep quiet and hope we recover. So a lawsuit probably won't work. In fact, a lawsuit may actually just make things worse for Target shareholders. So I don't know if Target is the right target. Anheuser-Busch, however, they're doubling down. The woke company has since faced boycotts. JP Morgan said it was downgrading Target stock because of the recent controversies. Musk responded to the news by tweeting, won't be long before there are class action lawsuits by shareholders against the company and board of directors for destruction of shareholder value. Now, to be fair, just because they were taking this action doesn't mean there won't be lawsuits. Lawsuits may still get launched. They might still win. I'm not a legal expert. There may still be many arguments I don't see. Daily Wire host Candace Owens responded, saying Elon weighing in on Target scandal now, so much respect owed to Elon and what he has contributed. Target has been perceived as woke by many since 2014 when they announced it would no longer divide certain products by gender. Oh, that's so dumb. Like, I'm not shopping in the women's section. I just need t-shirts, man. In 2016, they introduced a gender-neutral line for children and also asserted they will allow trans people to use whatever bathroom they preferred, prompting criticism. Target then spent $20 million to put private bathrooms in their stores. Dude, I am 100% behind private bathrooms. It's just so much better. You know, you're sitting in a stall and there's a guy and it's noisy and you're like, oh, man. Don't you want a little private room? I think it's easier. Now, the argument I've heard from people is it's not easy to do that because a lot of people got to go and nobody wants to wait in line. So, yeah, I guess. The vice president for brand management at Target also serves as treasurer of an LGBT group that has received millions of dollars in donations from Target and urges schools to adopt policies to help trans and non-binary school students hide their identity from their parents. Yeah, we don't want none of that. Okay, so here's what needs to happen. I think Target still may face this lawsuit. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But right now, I think if they want to bolster shareholder confidence, they would need to take actions to, say, remove this individual who's sponsoring these groups or to stop sponsoring any of these groups, to announce that they're going to be getting rid of this Pride merchandise as it's deemed too controversial. And there may be a backlash from the left, but the left is very small. And when you're looking at a massive stock drop off like you already are, what was it? What was the number again? 16.53% in the past month to Walmart's 1%. And what CNN does say, all box stores have dropped. Dude, you can't compare a 1% market swing, which is typical, with 16.5%. Don't give me that BS. Walmart's going back up. They barely went down. But they need to take action. Otherwise, it's just... Now, here we go from Newsweek. Former Trump official is building a legal case against Bud Light, as they should. A former top advisor is gearing up to sue Bud Light's parent company for allegedly tanking their shareholder value through the marketing of LGBTQ inclusive merch. America First Legal announced that they are seeking individuals who were shareholders. This is amazing. And Kohl's as well. There's now going to be a direct correlation. There is currently a direct correlation between promoting woke ideas, the Pride stuff, and destroying a company. This is where things get interesting. If you hold stock in any company, any single one, that now does any kind of Pride ad, you can sue. That's right. The Bud Light effect is now market law because we are seeing North Face, Kohl's, Target, Bud Light. It's hitting all of them. Now, if you hold share in any stocks in any one of these companies, you can sue and say, I want an injunction on these efforts because they are going to destroy the stock value. There's no question. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're going to win. I'm not a lawyer. Talk to the lawyer YouTubers. They'll know better than me. But I think it's fair to say that there is a reasonable argument to say we want an injunction on corporation whatever from putting up these Pride displays or advertising or marketing or donating because we can see consumers react negatively to it, and I don't want them to destroy the stock value. Maybe they'll argue, you have no standing because the stock value hasn't decreased. But I think as long as you're a stockholder, you should have standing. And they may say, we're not going to issue an injunction because we don't know what the results will be. But it'll get interesting then. Because you then argue in court, it will get bad. And then when it does, now you've got something to say to that court. You owe me money. Think about what that would be like. I mean, I don't think you can do that. Ask a lawyer again. But imagine if a judge was like, we're not going to bar a company from promoting this stuff because it's marketing and, some people like it. And you're like, I am going to lose $10,000. Okay, if my stock drops. Let's say I'm going to lose tens of thousands of dollars. Let's say you've got a large portion of the stock. If they do this, I will lose a lot of money. And who's going to be responsible? Is the court going to assume responsibility? No. But if they don't issue an injunction, it's their fault. Well, then corporation issues the woke ad, the boycott hits, stock tanks. So really, the only reasonable thing to do is to not invest. Again, no advice to you. I'm saying a reasonable person, I'll be careful here. A reasonable person would likely assume that they should not invest in any company that's promoting Pride stuff, Pride merchandise, or woke ideology, because your stock's going to go down. You're going to lose money. If you invest in a company that prioritizes the woke cult over meritocratic sales policy, you'll lose money. Seems fairly obvious, doesn't it? I mean, what do you think is going to happen when a company says we care more about our religious beliefs than we do about whether we make a good product? Look, I know the MyPillow guy's very religious, but they try and make a good pillow. They recently put out the MyPillow 2. How about that? Imagine if the guy was like, my pillow is made of styrofoam packing peanuts, but I've got a cross on the package. You'd be like, I don't want to use that. This is what they're doing. We did this joke with MyPillow. We made the Our Pillow, which was a burlap sack full of packing peanuts. And it was like the most uncomfortable thing ever. It was very scratchy. But, to be honest, it kind of worked still. You could rest. It was better than resting your head on a slab of rock. But that was Our Pillow. Imagine if he came out and he was like, we're no longer investing in any good products because we're going to put styrofoam packing peanuts in burlap sacks and place a cross on it because Christians will buy it anyway. You'd be like, you're going to lose money. No one's going to buy that. It makes no sense. So how is it that we can see how obvious and ridiculous it is to make tuck-friendly swimwear? Okay, dude, we're talking about a tiny portion of the U.S. population. I understand they deserve products same as anybody else, but there are specialty stores for this. We're not talking about half the population. Half the population are women. They buy swimsuits that fit their bodies. Less than 1% are going to be males who need to tuck their junk into their bodies. I'm not going to get into that, but less than 1%. So why make a line of products no one will buy? It's so crazy. You're gonna lose money. The MyPillow religious version, which costs us a penny to make. No one's gonna buy it because it sucks. So imagine investing in a company that outright says, we will make products that no one will buy. It reminds me of that scene in Iron Man. I love it. They got Jim Cramer. And it's the first one when Tony Stark says they're not going to make weapons anymore. He goes, sell. This is a weapons manufacturer that doesn't make weapons. Right? Like, why would you hold a stock on a company that doesn't do anything of merit? Target. We make products and sell them. We carry products. I don't know if they make them that people don't buy. That sounds like a terrible proposition. As for Bud Light, people drink beer. That's a no-brainer. But people are disgusted by the brand now. That seems to be the sentiment. I'd love to see a poll as to how people view Bud. Maybe we should partner with a pollster and ask people. Actually, maybe I'll reach out to People's Party. Maybe we could do a poll. Ask the average person what word would describe their thoughts of Bud Light. When you think of Bud Light, what word first comes to mind? And they do these polls, and you actually find the numbers are very low. It'll be like, it's like, what word comes to mind when you think of Trump? And then it'll be like bigly at 7%, and that's the top one. Because everybody has a different word. But disgust would probably be way up there. That's what I'm hearing from most people. It's disgust. So Bud Light has chosen to be off-putting. That makes no sense. Why do that? And now nobody wants to buy their beer. There's a viral video. I think I have the article here. Video of Bud Light at grocery stores goes viral. Can't get it off the shelf. They can't move it. Can't move the product. We see it over and over again. We don't need to see any more. I get it. We get it. This video from this morning. Everywhere I've gone, it's Bud Lights just to the brim. And then other brands are going. I do see people buying other Anheuser products. They don't know. They buy Michelob thinking it's different, but it's still. Modelo is now #1 in the U.S. Bud Light's no longer the top brand. That's crazy. I can't imagine the lawsuits don't come. They have to come soon. And we'll see how that plays out. But for the time being, the Bud Light effect is law. Like, these brands are getting hit, and CNN, of course, is trying to cover it up. Liars. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.